Hello, hello. We will continue on with MSQ. We kind of left off on Roman Enclave, but it'll be okay. Not really important to the story. Alright, for want of a better suggestion, what say you to a brief tour of the newly liberated Doma? I'd be interested to hear how the people are faring in their own words. And it's not as if we'll be missed here. Or will we? Hikaru, a moment if you would. Ah, Yugiri and Asahi, was it? You have some business with Hikaru. Business? No. Pleasure, my lady. I merely wish to exchange a few words with the famed slayer of gods and champion of Eorzea. It is truly an honor. Such heartfelt admiration. One can almost forget that you're an envoy of the Empire. Oh, is that so strange? We have stood on opposing sides in the past, but I see no contradiction in lauding the woman who would do battle with our common enemy. Unless you forget, this is my homeland. It would be remiss of me not to at least thank her for containing the threat posed by the Kojin's vile icon. Now, if I may continue, as we speak, Lord Hien deliberates over my proposal, and I would take this time to see the land I once called home. Though Lady Yugiri is certain to be a jovial escort, the excursion would be all more enjoyable for your company, and safer besides. The ambassador has the right of it. He is not like to come to harm with you at his side. Will you join us? Quite sure he will be safe with you, Yugiri. Come now, Hikaru. There is naught else for us to do until Lord Hien has reached his decision. And were we not at this moment discussing how best to learn about the current state of Doma? It's settled then. The four of us shall make a brief excursion to Ryangsha. When we start at the town of Monzen, I would see what has become of Doma Castle. Very well, if you'll follow me. I don't like Asahi. I never really liked him. It's far. We got a long ways to go. You know, they never fixed Doma Castle, huh? Been broken since the invasion or reclamation. I'll admit, I was hoping for a more leisurely trip around like Yangsha, but if it's a choice between this or listening to my brother rambling on, well, here I am. But that something could be done about these mechanical soldiers. Nay, can this truly be Monzan, home of the creme of Doma's samurai? I had heard that Yotsuyu intended to send some few of our automata here, but only be by way of warning. It should not have come to this. Indeed, her savagery served only to incense the people and spur them to rise up in protest. It was folly to think such methods of governance could ever prove effective. The sooner we can begin to make amends for the senseless destruction, the better. Securing supplies and support for the reconstruction effort should not prove difficult, once our nations are formally at peace. Of course. Yes, of course. If you would have a better view of what remains of the castle, you must proceed through the ruins. I don't believe for one moment that he came to see the sights of Yangsha. The question, what did he come for? Lord Hien would often come here to gaze at the castle. He was but one of many to take inspiration from its majesty. It is travesty. A travesty. I remember the keep being so beautiful. In the light of the setting sun, one would swear it was aflame. It is indeed a doleful spectacle. Mayhap we will rebuild it one day, when we have finished helping our people to rebuild their lives. Spoken like a true popularist. The needs of the people must of course come first. Speaking of whom, would you be opposed to my seeing how they live firsthand? The village of Namai is but a short journey from here, if I'm not mistaken. By river, yes. If you'll follow me, I'll ready our boats. It had a boat? Oh. I see. It's a boat somewhere, like, at the dock here. The entrance we took for Doma. Well, at least the dungeon entrance. Oh. This excursion has proved to be more relaxing than I expected. It's been some time since I last visited Namai, yet Issei often visits the enclave with young Asami, so we do not want for news from the village. Ready to cast off? Or...
Get back! I'm warning you! Someone's in trouble. Are you all right? Hi.
What do they want with you?
Yuki, and you lot too. I don't know. We were returning from the Enclave when they came at us.
It seems they won't go quietly.
And neither will we.
Why did the Kojin want to attack them? Good question. I actually don't know. I don't know the answer. More so I don't remember.
Away with you!
These guys are tanky. Why are they so tanky? think give me the bypass.
The art of my forebears.
Why these reinforcements think here? Oh, that was simple.
That seems to be the last of them. You have nothing to fear, child. You are safe now.
Thank you, sir.
You saved us again. Thank you. If you're ever passing by our village, look us up. You'll always be welcome.
Thank goodness we arrived when we did.
Indeed. But what could have prompted the Red Kojin to stray so far from the Ruby Sea?
I presume these are the sellswords hired by Yotsu. If so, the answer is simple. Desperation. Bereft of imperial employment, they seek other means to line their coin purses. Another sad legacy of the Empire's mismanagement.
The Empire to which you have sworn allegiance.
Must you always be so pointed? If we are to bring about lasting change, we must look beyond narrow allegiances. You have every right to doubt me, but in time, I hope you will come to see that we share a common goal. You and yours have fought fiercely to change the Empire from without, but if we are to end the cycle of conflict, the Empire must change from within. Am I wrong?
He's not wrong. Not about that. True reform can only come from within. He's not wrong about that. Technically.
I knew you would understand. You have witnessed such change firsthand, after all, during your time in Ishgard.
But the Empire changing, on the other hand, a whole different story. The Red Kojin's presence here does not bode well. He must inform Lord Hien. Quite the swordsman, isn't he? I wonder, did the Empire train him to kill before or after appointing ambassador? Hear me. I had hoped to convey my views on our nation's shared hopes under more peaceable circumstances. Yet this regrettable little interlude did afford me a chance to see the famed hero Eorzea in action, and few Imperial soldiers can say that. At least few who live to tell the tale. He did kill a lot. Well, after that little ordeal, I believe it may be time for us to return to the Enclave. Return, my lord. What of Namai? You seem so eager to observe the villagers going about their daily lives. To be frank, I still am. I rather doubt the good people of Namai would take kindly to the sight of a man in Imperial uniform, with blood still dripping from his blade. Even in your company, my presence would only prove a distraction. Fret not, however. Thanks to the three of you, I have seen a great deal more than I would otherwise. And with any luck, Lord Hien will have finished considering my proposal by the time we return. I wonder if he actually... Did he... hate a Kojin? I actually never thought about that. But to what end? I guess to make him look more favorable. I actually never considered that before. You see sincerity in his eyes when he spoke with Azami. I feel strange saying this. What if he truly has come to sue for peace? I trust you will inform Lord Hien of our encounter with the Red Kojin. If we are to deter them from encroaching on Yangsha, our response must be swift and decisive. I understand you served as ambassador's escort. My thanks. Maximus is a cool one. Thank you again for agreeing to join me. If not for your aid, the Kojin may well have overwhelmed us. Pray go on ahead. Lord Hien is expecting you. I'll remain without and keep watch over our guest. Well, we had best not keep him waiting. I mean, judging by the sparkle in Alphinaud's eyes, their decision was riveting. How sorry I am to have missed it. Master Alphinaud has shared with us his knowledge of the icons, and reminded us of the threat they pose in so doing. It is strangely comforting to know that Empire shares are concerned. Feeling refreshed, I trust. We have considered the ramification of this proposal from every angle. I believe Lord Hien has reached a decision. Welcome back, my friend. Yukiri tells me you accompanied her and Asahi on a tour of Yangsha. I had hoped you might take the opportunity to recover from your exertions at Sakazuki. But I gather your time was well spent. Until the ambassador affords Yukiri a chance to make a full report, however, I must rely on you to supply the details. So please tell us all how it all unfolded. The Red Kojin? Here? Have there been any other incidents since the liberation? Not that I'm aware of. If they're planning some new venture here in Yangsha, we will need to increase patrols. In any event, I'm indebted to you for fighting them off. But tell me, and don't be modest, was Asahi truly the first to leap to the youngster's aid? He was. I was quick to doubt him when we first met. But his desire to save them seemed quite genuine. It's possible he truly believes what he's saying. In the time I've known you, you have always been an excellent judge of character. What do you make of the ambassador? I still don't think he can be trusted. And the question of what his true intentions may be remains. Regardless of his aim, I am resigned to playing his game. For now, at least. Well, forswearing summoning should be simple enough, considering you never dabbled in it in the first place. Which just leaves a somewhat thornier question of how to police the Red Kojin. It was with that very question in mind that I sought Alphinaud's counsel. Thanks to his knowledge of the icons and the rituals used to invoke them, I believe we've identified a workable solution. As you recall, Susanoo was summoned forth using the power of the relics locked away in the Kojin's treasure vault on the Isle of Zeki. Though said relics remain there to this day, it is all but certain that the act of summoning exhausted their stores of aether, making subsequent summonings impossible. Assuming that is the case, preventing the Primal's return rests on denying the Red Kojin the means of amassing new stores of aether, either via the acquisition of crystals or the relics they are wont to collect. For this, I plan to enlist the aid of our friends, the Blue Kojin. Since Doma's liberation, we have forged closer bonds with Bunchin and his people, and with their support, I am quite confident we can keep the Red from obtaining what they require to call upon this Susanoo. And what of the prisoners? They will be exchanged as agreed, and I will give full credit to Asahi for the success of the transaction. If there is aught we can do to help the Popularis garner favor, I mean to see it done. But first, I have some unfinished business to attend to. Would you all come with me? Yes, of course, but what manner of business? A past mistake which I would see put right, one which has weighed heavy on my mind.
I had her brought here in secret while the three of you kept our guest company. The world has not been kind to you, it is true. But that does not excuse your sins. You should be at the bottom of the river. Yet here you are. The living, breathing proof of my failure. A failure for which I would now make amends.
What did I do? I don't remember. Was it really so terrible? Tell me, please. What did I do?
You speak of sins, my lord. But at whose feet do those sins lie? With the soldiers who committed the crimes, or those who commanded them to do so? With both, I would say. For all have a conscience, and all must choose. But with no memory of who she is, or what she has done, what sin remains to be cleansed?
You ask that I show mercy.
I ask why the heavens saw fit to deny me my rest. Why Yotsuyu was spared not only death, but the bitter memories of her life.
You truly think it the will of the Kami? If so, her life is not mine to take. It is yours to safeguard. Come the hour of the exchange, if her memories have not returned, she may remain here in Doma to live out her days as Tsuyu. But if they do, the Guardians shall have their viceroy. Though the people will protest, they will come to accept my decision when they have been reunited with their loved ones.
Thank you, my lord.
Now then, I believe we have kept our guest waiting long enough. Did Gosetsu not seem strange to you? His sympathy for your Tsuyu apart, I know his powers of endurance only too well, but after all he has suffered, even he should not be on his feet. He puts on a brave face for our sakes, but it would not surprise me if he lacked the strength to raise his blade. Though I suppose if he and Yotsu are to enjoy a life of peace and quiet, he will have little use for it. It falls to us to shape that future, one in which he need never again set foot on the battlefield.
Is it very confusing? I don't even know if confusing is the right word, but weird the arc. It's like they talk a lot about like the heaven's will and whatnot, or why they survived. Well, they do mention Akami a lot in normal Stormblood. It still feels weird that they're just religious about it, I guess. I had no idea Yotsu's return weighed so heavily on Lord Hien's mind. I couldn't say if Tsuyu's predicament is the will of the Kami, but Gosetsu certainly seems convinced. It would seem Lord Hien has at last reached a decision. The uncertainty in his eyes has given way to resolve. With Yotsu's safety in Gosetsu's care, all that remains is to answer Asahi's proposal. I realize other matters demand your attention, but I would ask that you stay a while longer to see this business through. To be fair, we don't really have much else to do right now. So you're in luck.
My apologies. Our deliberations took longer than expected.
Think nothing of it. The time afforded me the opportunity to go on a rather rousing excursion through Yansha. You have reached a decision then?
We are willing to cooperate with you in combating the Icon threat, and also in the exchange of prisoners. Assuming you accept our conditions, of course. As you know, your sister is in our care. Due to certain complications, however, we are hesitant to release her into your custody.
Complications?
She was inside Doma Castle when it collapsed. Though she survived, she remembers nothing of her past life, not even her name. To clarify, she is in our care not as a prisoner, but as a vulnerable citizen of Doma.
Are you saying you refuse to release her?
Not at all. If her memory returns before the appointed hour.
And if not, what exactly? You will accommodate her here in Doma?
Well, I sincerely doubt she will be of any great strategic value to the Empire. She spends her days daydreaming of Dango.
Dango. How dreadful. Very well. In light of our recent misstep in Sakazuki, it seems only fair that I show you the same understanding you have shown us. Though I do have one small request. Regardless of Yotsuyu's value to the Empire, she is yet my sister. Before I leave, might you permit me to speak with her in private?
Of course. Perhaps you could even bring her a plate of dango. She would be most pleased. Yugiri will see you to her chambers.
Oh, I was gonna say, how did that door open by itself? There was a serpent just waiting there. Forgive me, my lord, but has he not been gone over long? Perhaps I should. Calm yourself, Kosetsu. I understand your concern, but we have to wait. He deserves that much. I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting, and thank you for your understanding. Long did I dream of this reunion. Never did I imagine it would be so joyless. A part of me hoped your stories of her conditions were just that. Alas, it is just as you say. To you, do you remember anything of this bond? Anything at all? No. I am a stranger to her. That much was clear to me from a single look. I leave her in your care. As you wish. Now, if you will excuse me, my superiors are long overdue a report. They will be elated to hear of our agreements. Of that, I have no doubt. As for the exchange itself, once I've obtained the relevant permissions, I will arrange for your people to be relieved of their various duties and sent here to Yangsha. That will take time, of course. Of course, you may be rest assured your soldiers will be well cared for until your return. We also begin taking steps to better counter the threat of the Kojin and their icon. Before you take your leave, there's one other matter. I'm informed it was you who took the lead in rescuing 2 young Domins from a band of Kojin sellswords. I have not yet had the time to thank you properly. Please, there is no need to thank me. I only did what anyone would do under the circumstances. Fortunately, I was in good company at the time. The blight of the Red Kojin is the Empire's making. Were it not for our transgressions, those children would not have needed saving. The people of Doma have suffered enough, my lord, and I promise to do all in my power to save them further pain, be it at the hands of the Kojin or indeed the Empire. I pray the Emperor will see things as you do. There may yet be hope for us all. Until we meet again. Kosetsu, as before, I leave Yotsuyu to you. I invite the rest of you to join me outside. Let's treat Asahi to a proper farewell. Without the threat of Imperial attack hanging over our heads, we may devote our energies dealing with the Red Kojin, and then there will be nothing left to impede Vilma's restoration. If only our previous encounters with the Empire had been this cordial. Here's to the future, I suppose. I wondered if the sight of her stepbrother might bring Yotsuyu back to her senses, but mayhap nothing will. Nevertheless, we will continue to watch her until we can be certain that her condition is permanent. Lord Hien has made a wise decision. Our superiors will be pleased. My dear sister's memory does not return. I pray you will take good care of her. The ambassador's airship awaits at Castrum Fluminus. Let us be off. Oh, teleports us. Good.
I wish you a safe journey.
This has been a most enjoyable visit. I look forward to our next meeting. Maxima, would you take the others and see that all is ready for our departure? I simply cannot leave without first giving thanks to the Warrior of Light for accompanying me through Yansha. Mark me, savior of the savages. There will be a reckoning.
You've nowhere left to run, traitor!
Ignorant savages! Killing us will avail you naught. For every Imperial you cut down, 1,000 more will come. Abandon this foolish endeavor and surrender. You may yet serve our righteous cause.
How dare you speak of righteousness? You who forsook kith and kin to serve conquerors! Be glad I grant you this mercy. What in the... Reinforcements? No, just one! Cut him down!
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
This one is promising. Who remains to offer us resistance?
A host of rebels led by Lord Cayenne hold the enclave across the river.
Lord Cayenne.
The king of the former king of Dorma, sir. They say he is one of the greatest swordsmen alive.
Is that what they say?
Who was that?
Surely you jest. That was Xenos ye Galvus, legatus of the 12th, the crown bloody prince. I heard he was strong, but that was frightening.
That was Lord Xenos.
And that spawned his fanaticism over Xenos.
Everything you are, your power, even your face, it vexes me. Go on. Lash out like the beast you are at an emissary and jeopardize the newfound peace between Dorma and the Empire. My lord was destined to lead us unto a glorious new age. Your light is nothing to his radiance. I will cherish this moment, lock it away within my heart, until the day we meet again.
I never understood why he had this whole mask off moment right here and there. It never really made much sense. Logically, to ever do that. I get it, like, kind of makes sense in a narrative aspect, but, like, logically, it makes zero sense for him to ever, like, reveal that right now. Or ever reveal that. It's so weird. I've always found that very, very confusing, that he just has a mask off moment like that. So weird. Why the frown? Did he say something to upset you? You're quite well. You look as if you were about to faint in the ambassador's arms for a moment there. I thought perhaps now we could be at ease, but your expression suggests otherwise. What troubles you, Yukara? Oh, I'm teleporting.
You look troubled, my friend. Was it something he said?
Of all the memories to witness.
I had my doubts about him, but I would never have guessed he was a disciple of Xenos. My lord.
Calm yourself, Yugiri. I set no store by him or his enlightened brethren. But if by treating with them there is even the faintest hope, we might secure the return of our conscripted brothers and sisters, I must play this game. After the way I risked their lives in the rebellion, I owe them that much.
My lord, you bear no blame for their fate.
If not blame, then responsibility. They were prisoners, and still I chose to fight, knowing they could be executed in retaliation. But now we have a chance to bring them home. If it means bargaining with a monster, so be it.
My lord.
Besides, I think he likes me, which is more than some can say.
We did kill his hero. I mean, can you blame me? It makes no sense. Why would he bother keeping up the pretense for so long, only to drop it right before the very end? Perhaps he no longer thought it necessary, having secured Doma's cooperation in prisoner exchange. If he truly is a disciple of Xenos, 'tis possible emotion simply got the better of him. Remaining calm around a woman who slew his lord will have taken its toll. Whatever the explanation, now is not the time for hasty reprisals. We shall proceed as planned. The Red Quotian must be placed under surveillance, and the Garlean prisoners made ready for the exchange. But you need not concern yourself with the details. Leave the affairs of Doma to us. When the hour of the exchange draws near, we will call for you. I should certainly hope so. Whatever the Empire's true intent, we would be on hand to play our parts, either to defend Doma or to help usher in a lasting peace. I thought we might use this time to return to Eorzea, but given the volatility of the situation, it would be best if we remained in Kugane. Agreed. Between Yotsuya's amnesia and Asahi's dubious agenda, I'd say we have ample reason to remain in the neighborhood. If anything should happen, anything at all, you must send for us at once. Oh, I will. On that you have my word. The parting path through the sea of trouble promises to be difficult enough. I'm not so proud as to attempt the feat alone. To Kugane then. Taro and the others must know what transpired here. Suppose this is the end of this little act. Soon we shall see if Asahi is true to his word. If not, I will be glad to cut that silver tongue of his. If what you saw of the ambassador is an indication of his true nature, this prisoner exchange may not be what it seems. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if your encounter with the Red Quotient was more than mere happenstance. Not wrong. But yeah, I thought as much as well. I never really thought about it the first time I went through it, but now that I have more context about who Asahi is, that came to my mind. I'm just like, oh, they were already in Garlean's employ anyways. It's not very out of realm of reason that they would have been paid again, for sure. Welcome back, Hikaru. We heard the good news about Gosetsu. I knew you'd find him. Since we have nothing else to attend to for the moment, perhaps this would be a good opportunity to look into the present state of Garlemald. But I should probably talk with Totaro first. I don't envy Lord Hien. So much rests on his decision. My, it seems you're all in quite the predicament. Well, should we receive any urgent missive from Doma, rest assured you'll be the first to know of it. Yes, of course. We're discussing ideas to replenish our coffers, but I suppose that all can wait if any new urgent news should come through the office. Ah, ahem. About that, I wish to apologize to Taru. It was reckless of me to make such a purchase without first consulting you. You can be certain, however, that I mean to reimburse the Scions, if it means drawing upon my own personal funds. That's very thoughtful of you, but I'm sure it won't come to that. If Soroban's business proposition is as promising as it sounds, Hikaru should have no difficulty wiping the red from our ledger. What do I have to cover for his mistakes? Forgive me, Hikaru. It seems I have unwittingly heaped my financial troubles upon you. I swear I'll pay you back. Though I fear I will struggle to cobble together anything of monetary value. knowledge I can gather in abundance. To start, I plan to investigate the divisions forming within the Empire. Mayhap Riol and his associates have heard something on the subject. Regardless, the more we know about politics of Garlemald, the better our chances of predicting the Imperial's next move, which might yield you an advantage on the day of the prisoner exchange. Knowing what to do of Asahi's apparent resentment towards you, I cannot say what he hopes to gain from it. If there is even a faintest chance that a lasting peace can be forged between Doma and the Empire, what choice have we but to try? Lord Tian had the right of it. Asahi may very well be a monster. We must play his game for now. A striking one. Not very useful for me. Arranging the prisoner exchange proved easier than I thought. Yes, my lord will be most pleased. Everything is going according to plan. So right.
Can you truly remember nothing? Nothing at all?
Were we friends?
Yes. We were good friends, you and I. In fact, I've brought you a gift. I pray that one day soon, as you gaze into that mirror, you will remember the woman staring back at you.
It's so pretty. Who are you? Who are you?
Meanwhile, in the Imperial capital.
How are you feeling, my lord?
I didn't realize his name was Imperial Menicus.
Fine, now leave me.
And 4.2. More often than not, it seems opportunity is wont to come knocking when the signs are about. So long as you and yours remain here in Ukugane, I'm certain a profitable venture will present itself. We'll replenish our coffers, you wait and see. If all goes planned, we'll recoup the cost of Kusetsu's blade 10 times over. Whatever Asahi is planning, we can all let him have his way. After our Lord Tian is done, the Empire cannot be suffered to hinder Doma's restoration. Ah, Hikaru. Impeccable timing. We have just received a letter from Lord Tian. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their effort with the Blue Kojin to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. For the Guardian's part, the Popularis has sent word that a vessel bearing Domin conscripts is soon to arrive in Yangsha. It seems that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. According to the letter, Yotsu's memory has yet to return. It looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you will cope in our absence, Tataru. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. And cock waving is so weird. That looked is so weird. We spared no effort to increase the guard at every settlement here in Yangsha. The Red Quadrant will trouble us no more. On that you have my word. I mean, I don't think they've really... They don't show up again, do they? I don't remember them ever showing up again, so... Ever since he drained our coffers dry buying that sword, Alfna has had his purse strings in a death grip. I can't even buy a cup of tea without him going on about the dangers of frivolous spending. We know the broad strokes from his letter. I would hear the details of our Doman friend's progress from Lord Hien himself. I see my letters reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there is one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather the worse for wear. And despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good gods, is he alright? Confined to bed, grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly. Which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time you receive some visitors. When you spare him a moment. Yotsu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. You'll visit him at once. Hikaru Alize, shall we?
Open wide now.
Pleased to you. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
Persimmon.
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... A gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you, this is not.
Oh, that's funny.
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink.
Oh no. That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Why are we just watching him?
What are all these scars?
That's
There are
even
so
more
many
awkward
of
that we're just watching him. Why?
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think him a doting grandsire and her model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I am relieved to see Gosetsu had lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events! I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up. Although I suppose Gosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he has resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Yagiri, out of all of us, I would think you the hardest to convince. So what makes you so sure? I've been spying on Yotsu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in character from the first. One evening, I watched her as she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard, and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. Child's game. Even the wariest shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yotsu becomes Tsuyu and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time, to prove that her memory is truly gone. I will not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she as good as fastened the chain around their necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first. Out of sight of my countrymen, will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Guardians are on their way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We'll meet you at the docks with Suyu. Even after weeks of surveillance, it was difficult for me to accept that Yotsu's condition was genuine. Not as difficult as accepting Kosetsu's affection for her. The skiff will take us to a meeting with the ambassador. We will join you at the docks once preparations have been made. It is weird to see Kosetsu's affection towards her. I will agree with that. I do find that weird too. Of all the people, I feel like he would hate them. But I guess this kind of calls back to the whole religion thing in this area. They truly do believe in Akami a lot, and Gosetsu in particular believes that him living and her living is also the will of the god. Can you imagine Yotsu playing with the poles on the floor? I don't know that we can think of her as the same person anymore. Shall we wait here then? Lord Tien should not be long. My friends, have you seen Suyu? She's nowhere to be found. What? But the Garlands will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Igiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it's possible Suyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord. I do not rightly know. I think... yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers whom I do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat. I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as a new fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No. No, I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. It would seem that Suyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. I need casting here. Alright, time to change clothes. Do I even have armor space? Oh, I'm running low on armor space. Yikes. It would seem Suyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. Must find her before that happens. The responsibility of her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me. I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We're at your service, Lord Tien. Now as before, let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let Igiri know what we've learned. I'll join you on the other side. We have no way of knowing where Suyu is headed, so we had best divide our forces. I will take Fusakari and its surroundings. I often know if you take the road to Castrum Fluminus. Hikaru, forgive me, but I would ask that you interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor. One of the Namazu may have well seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Actually, I'm gonna go get water real quick. Too much talking. Be right back. Alrighty. We're dealing with the Namazu. Welcome to Yuzuka Manor. Yes. If there's anything you care to know, you need only a pale-skinned woman. I've never seen no such traveler. I'm sorry to say. Most sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. Unusually pale skin. Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She just crossed the shallows east of here, and she was headed in a northeasterly direction for the most part. Her steps did not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. You see no sign of Yotsu to the north. Perhaps she's somewhere farther off to the northeast. Still no sign of Yotsu. Perhaps she's further to the northeast. Oh, a really long survey. Yotsu is nowhere to be seen, lying on the ground in a short distance to the north. He's by a familiar looking wide-brimmed hat. A cursory glance is all that is required to confirm your suspicion. The same hat Yotsu was wearing when he found her in Sakazuki. Hikaru, before you ask, our search in Kusakari and its surrounding has yielded exactly naught. Save this chance to reunion with you. Save this chance to reunion with you, I suppose. Mistress Alize has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Tian here shortly after. Energy Ferry, Yuzuka Manor. Any sign of our missing guest? Towards Namai. By the kami, if the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. You must hurry. Iguri and I will check the paddies. The village square is yours.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuga's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
Sorry. And what? We're supposed to forgive you.
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
I also forgot that's part of the thing to happen. They're not wrong though. Just have amnesia doesn't mean you're afraid of all the sins you've committed. Not a wrong statement per se. I can't forgive what that woman did to us, but I won't do anything to upset Asami. I'm not scared of her, not anymore. All of this over a person. I fail to consider how she might endanger herself. Knowing she has the mind of a child, I should continue my vigilance, not relax it. I don't know why everyone is so angry. I got the fruit Gosetsu wanted. I hope he likes it. That would have been better avoided. But at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Suyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. There was no escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhand request of Kosetsu's, which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Ah, and they say fruit is good for the health. I do hope Kosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we have certainly taken the long way around. Let us continue to Castrum Fluminus. Our meeting with the ambassador. Alpha and Alize should still be there, conducting their search. You know, it's a shame that our power of echo only works on memories. And you know, you can't just see her having flashbacks. We as a player obviously get more information than the Lord of Light. Which is kind of weird. Well, not weird, but I guess it's kind of weird, I guess. It's not weird in terms of gaming aspect, but it's weird in terms of we're playing as the Warrior of Light. Will we still get held information? Lord Hien informed us of the uproar in Namai. I think the 12 you found Yotsu when you did. I dare not think what might have happened had you not. The Imperial airship has arrived, but our conscripts are aboard remains to be seen. I was sure Yotsu had fled, but it seems her memory has not returned after all. How foolish of me not to consider Kosetsu's craving for seasonal fruits. We have to stay here long. He'll be waiting for his fruit. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. It's time to meet with the ambassador. Gosh, it's not raining. Okay, we're done raining. For the cutscene anyways.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Oh, right. I forgot about this part.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
I never knew they panned on those crates too. They do a lot of foreshadowing, huh? You just need to pay attention to a lot of this stuff. I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Suyu's future to rest. I've sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Elfno. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. You know, a lot of those little hints, huh? I wonder what else I've missed across, like, mentions. I suppose Suyu is to become an official Doman citizen. But what then? Will they keep her hidden here forever? Or might she one day be allowed to walk amongst her countrymen? So it would seem there will be one less prisoner at the exchange. I only hope Yotsu's presence here will not present further problem. We should pay a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him about Suyu's fate. He'll want to know that the Empire's finally relinquished its claim on her.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention. I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
They heavily hint upon what's in the crates. I guess I missed those details. Or forget it, I guess.
Help! 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 Help me!
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu! A font of misery! You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugani and start a new business.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Please. I don't want to die.
Any sign of her? What happened here? I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
So Asahi got his way in the end, at an unspeakable price. He really is a vile little worm, isn't he? Yotsuyu hid her recovery well. I had no inkling that her memory had returned. I keep asking myself when it could have happened. At the meeting with her parents, perhaps. But then why would she? Nay, there is naught to gain from such conjecture. The Yotsu has returned to the bosom of the Empire after all. I cannot say I am surprised. What I struggle to fathom is Asahi's aim in all this. We've recovered the Neuris's remains, and will hold the cremation and on. Would that they had never again set foot in Toma. I broke the news to Gosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. So, my friends, that which we feared has come yet to pass. Yotsu had regained her memories and returned to the Imperial fold. It is by any measure a cruel twist, not least for Gosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of our contract, we are bound to surrender Yotsu into the Guardian's hands should our condition improve prior to the hour of exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. What I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration for Zenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted, and that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of Castrum Fluminis is to be the stage for the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The Citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. We'll step inside and make certain we have an unobstructed exit. I pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities. As should matters take a turn for the worse, I would hope to be at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of Castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibune, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable on the water, assuming, of course, Rasho can be convinced to part with one. Might I take the lead on this? I've had dealings with Rasho and his pirates before. And I won't be alone, will I, Hikaru? I suppose not. Well, that was enthusiastic. Were you hoping to join Yukiri and Alphana on their skulking mission, by any chance? I'm certain you would make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to these negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, Yugiri. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat them as equals. Our presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphino and I shall be about our task. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short, and Rasho may take some time convincing. All the way up, isn't he? In my mind, Yotsu is deserving of only one fate. Memory loss be damned. If you don't have the stones for it, we would be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift. Now there's a face I did not expect to see. What brings the noble lord of Doma into the company of bilge rats such as we? If you come to offer Doman chains in place of Garland ones, I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn an oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at our master's whistle. And I will not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all of this? Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning. But we are not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mr. Salazar. We did not come here to moralize, we came here to talk. And there is more to be said. According to records recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of our said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into our ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? You seem well informed in our affairs, Lord Hien. The losses we suffered at the Garland hands are no secret. But since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea will come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, and so few pirates to tax them. You could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she is yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough down below, but when you load her up with conscripts and the water line rises, Those upper planks at best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you will do me a favor of swimming around the hull to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman lords are not averse to getting their robes wet. Not this, Doman lord. If we inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. As a spirit, the ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanashi. I thought I had a knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success. And yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Oh well. I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. The Sekibune is moored at Quickscape Pier. Speak with Ihanashi when you finish your swim. Upon closer inspection, he spot a small crack in one of the planks. You see no sign of damages here. The water is so invigorating. I've not swum in the Ruby Sea since. Ah, but I should be concentrating on the task at hand. Should. For once, I'm actually glad Yukiri isn't here. I doubt she'd have taken kindly to a pirate inviting him to inspect his hull. Hi, I'm the shipwright, or apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seems solid enough. On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies. I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracks or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. The captain sent you to inspect the hull. God may have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. It is quite alright. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma. Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising, and I had nowhere else to turn. Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fair is Our Lady? Is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack in the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you met the boy. He tells you his story. He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. I see in him, the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them. But the yearning for home still lingers. My family's long dead. I know this life is my lot. But he scarce dipped his toe with us. If there's a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more. be it in Yangsha or out in the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and the others, like him, are free to dwell where they desire. Then the matter is sealed. I'll make preparations to cast off. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let's return to the Enclave. Ren shows a very honorable pirate, which seems like an oxymoron to say that, but he is. Afino tells me they had little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I think he's hiding something, but I can't imagine what. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied, and betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited us there. Afino seemed oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw naught to concern us. The castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. It was a simple matter to plot the surest path out, hence our swiftness. Oh, he's scared of ghosts. I see. Oh, I guess we started the expansion with him being scared of ghosts in the first dungeon. He's so scared of ghosts. It's okay, Alphino. You'll grow out of it soon. It seems Yugiri and Alphino completed their task before us. They have been waiting. We have scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange and pray to the Kami these precautions were unnecessary. Primary agreement. When we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for Imperial prisoners. You will see they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they await us on the river bank not far from the castrum. They heavily foreshadow primal summoning. I suppose when you when you pay closer attention to detail, there's a lot of foreshadowing. MSQ name, little subtle camera pans, their dialogue. Never paid attention to it. Not worry about the ship. It'll be where it needs to be, and with Tensui at the helm. I'm only concerned with the safe return of our people. That is what my lord wishes, and that's what shall be done. Tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? I concede we might perhaps have chosen a less ominous place to conduct exchange. But then we had some hint as the ambassador's intention. Are we not prepared for the worst? I should be worried of going through with this all. No matter what Asahi throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way. Your party is assembled then. Aye, and ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the river is to be the scene of the exchange. Then whatever else Asahi has planned. Regardless of the ambassador's intention, we will bring our people home. Yukiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape, and then what support we can. The ship awaits you at the Casham's loading docks. She will see you safely home. When all is ready to play their part, come, let us be about it.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Naori, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma! You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish!
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting Viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Dorman's citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
A strategic withdrawal.
Spare my pride, would you? I know this foe is beyond me. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorma. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
She is a cool boss though. Kiyomi. That's been one of my favorite trials when I first went through this. Very cool boss. I also like her design. Also just villains like her. Very complicated. A victim of their environment. While it doesn't excuse her for what she's done, you can definitely understand where it came from. It's not like this just came out of nowhere, right? You can definitely understand where it came from, why it happened. Although, you still have that hint of feeling bad for her. What you think was going to happen? Once again, doesn't excuse her what she's done. No matter how messed up your history was, how abused you were, doesn't excuse the fact that what had happened. This becomes a cautionary tale of abusive environment and what can lead to happen. But the fact still remains, the enslaved many, separated families, killed many. But it's not a villain you can't sympathize her, I guess. You can't understand why it happened. It's not like she didn't have a shred of humanity. Before she saw her parents, she was contemplating killing herself. That's supposed to his kindness. Is she feeling unworthy of that? A second life, I suppose you can say. It's a different question. Of what part is, or how much is unforgivable, I guess. I don't think there's an answer to. I don't think anyone can actually say what's forgivable and unforgivable. I guess, like, at what point, I should say. No. I didn't realize I had a monk job quest. Not like it matters, it's too far low level now. Way too far gone now. Might as well do mapping a realm lie if nothing else to do. EPSQ times are fun. It's also a big reason why I try to use trust on Bracon. Times are way too long. Ends up being about the same on average. But some parties you might get in DD Fighter might be slower and trust too. On top of the wait time. So in worst case scenario, trust would be faster. Also, it just seems nicer to go through it with whatever trust comes with. It usually has story characters within. Usually, not always. But for me personally, it's more queue time. With trials like this, it's like there's so much I could really do. I can't make a queue pop faster. This offer me time to do some of this. This is the Namazu area. If you ever wondered why there is an agent right up here, the Namazu area. It's a crafting beast tribe. There's beast tribes usually here. Well, that's all the mapping of the realm here. Or Garrett Bonnet I haven't done. Yeah, a lot. Figured as much. Never mind. We'll do that a different time.
It's going to be a long
This a fans, right? Yeah,
Your end is near.
ow. Oh, recommends alien. Make sure your stacks don't overtake 5 of them. She has like 3 kind of faces. Oh. I don't have an add on that up. You consider her memory as just like a phase before.
I'll grind you under my heel.
Oh wow. Didn't think that would hit me. That's fast. Also her theme. I really like her theme. By itself is cool too. But her theme is really cool. Why'd he shoot her? You think he would just shot me? But he shoots her. So weird.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of souls. A threat that must be put down. My! Such hostility! These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
But I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point. It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you. What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
So you deserved a kinder for a good option. Oh.
Her happiness was never to be. Not in this world. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague, and I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent, the hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord. My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
She is gone. Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Zenos is behind this plot.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Zenos giving these orders.
And how can that be? Zenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Zenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Zenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk her life on countless occasions. Next to her, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
It's your moment.
'Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Ah, Alphino, he impulsive fool. I thought about trying to talk him out of it, but I know what I would say if the roles were reversed. Stubbornness is something of a family trait. Kosetsu dragged himself from his sickbed, only to be greeted by the sight of Yotsu's corpse. I had not the words to comfort him. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning. Thank the kami you were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. It's little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest, but a vessel yet awaits on the riverbank for those who do not flee in time. And I would suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
Ah, there you are.
Gosetsu, your hair. My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
Safe travels, Gosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
I mean, Rosetsu chose this after everything he has gone through, especially with the survival himself and Yotsu. I think it's an honorable end to his character, even though he's not technically dead, but I think it's probably the best way to close this chapter, at least for that character. I think the commie spotted the cracked plank. That ship ended up bringing my father home. And the captain said, let's just say I'm not a pirate anymore. I'm going to live in Dome with my father. We're free. It'll be far too quiet without Gosetsu around. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. Oh, speaking of reunions, have you spoken with Ihanashi? It turns out his father was among the returning conscripts. Yeah. Gosetsu relinquishes duties with a grace befitting a samurai lord. I only hope that he can fill the void which he has left behind. Ah, Gosetsu. Fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet occasion, but there is yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in a Kainekon. We'll thank you properly. I also think Tsukuyomi would be a lot more sadder for Yotsu. It wasn't ruined by Asahi. Like, god damn. She made it. Or her final moments weren't the happiest, obviously. Sad. But then Asahi just shows up and just ruins it. Evolved out of the way, Doma should be able to look forward to a period of relative calm. As for us, we'll have an intriguing story to tell everyone back at the Rising Stones. Lord Hien trained under Gosetsu from the day he was old enough to hold a sword. Though he smiled through all the farewells, none will feel his absence more keenly. Our brothers and sisters have returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that should never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you, I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. The Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there is little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu, by building a nation in which none need to live in fear. I confess I miss him already. But I thought that he has a last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and in Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but a little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Kosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Yotsuyu could never replace his daughter. I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern the meaning of Yotsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death, with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother. Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the kami is not for us to know. What I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Suyu lived among us, and that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. I do find it weird that that's the only time we hear about Kosetsu's past. However far his pilgrimage may take him, we have not seen the last of Kosetsu. Of that I am certain. Tomo owes you a great debt, my friend. Thanks to you, we have everything we need to prosper. You and Alize must promise to visit us again soon, and Alfuna too, when he returns from the Empire. Know that my thoughts go with him. It's time. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we've a lot to report. Before we head back to Rising Stone, let's call it a Rauger's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lise about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we were that. Alrighty. If this is the last quest. This might be the last quest. At least for this chapter. Let me check real quick. Yeah. Not yet. Yeah. If that's the case, we'll stop here for now. It's getting to my bedtime. But yeah. Tsukuyomi as a fight, I enjoy. I like Tsukuyomi a lot as a fight. In terms of her story, she's pretty interesting, I'd say. Yeah. Certain parts of this story I don't absolutely hate, this being one of them. But there's still a lot of just like holes between why Yotsuyu did survive in Kosetsu. Like in all respective purposes, they should not have survived. Well, they did. And the explanation of them surviving is just right. Anywho, that's all for me right now. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Alright, bye bye.